Welcome to Day 3 of the Florida Healthcare Association 2020 Virtual Conference, brought to you by our title sponsor, Bouchard Insurance. Before getting started today, we want to remind you of some important items relating to this year's virtual conference. Attendance is tracked and contact hours will be reported to CE Broker on September 16th. All sessions you attend during virtual conference will provide a CEU code during the presentation. Once the presentation is over, you must submit that code into the checkout area on the upper right-hand side of that sessions page. You can pull a record of attendance within the platform to see if you are receiving credits for each session you are attending. FHCA received NAB approval for 11 sessions. Those sessions are marked as NAB approved and all have a 5-question quiz that must be completed to receive credits. Don't forget, all registrants have the ability to watch education sessions until midnight on September 4th. Today is the last day to collect leaderboard points. Be sure you not only attend today's live sessions to collect some of the highest points given out, but also visit with our virtual exhibitors as they will be giving out bonus points and bonus codes. Keep an eye out for the last chance bonus points to climb the leaderboard in the bonus section throughout the day. The leaderboard will close at 3 p.m. sharp today, along with the silent auction, which will benefit the FHC Political Action Committee. Bid high and bid often. After today's meeting, please make sure to be on the platform and logged in at 10:15 a.m. for the morning's first keynote with Governor Parkinson and Scott Tittle of the American Healthcare Association and National Center for Assisted Living. There will be 2 live CE sessions to choose from, beginning at 2 p.m. as well. Thank you for joining us this week, and see you at the opening meeting and live keynote and CE sessions all day long. Please welcome Florida Healthcare Association and our Florida Promise Executive Director, Emmett Reed.
Welcome to Day 3 of the Florida Healthcare Association 2020 Virtual Conference. I hope you all have had as much fun as I've had these past few days. Of course, I'd rather be with you in person, but to have the opportunity to gather virtually has been an experience I will never forget. I pray that next year we will meet under different circumstances and are able to convene face to face. This year has highlighted the importance of being together in person and the advantages that come with it, including recognizing so many incredible leaders in the profession. This morning's agenda gives us a chance to do just that. A few weeks ago, we were able to surprise this year's Walter M. Johnson Jr. Circle of Excellence Award recipient at the FHCA headquarters. I'd like to turn our attention to the recording and share who this very deserving person is.
The Circle of Excellence Award was initiated in 1972 in honor of Walter M. Johnson Jr., who served as FHCA president between 1969 and 1971. Mr. Johnson was one of the most significant forces in the establishment of our association. He was known throughout his career as a man committed to excellence. This award, presented in his memory, is the highest honor FHCA bestows. Each year, the Circle of Excellence Award honoree is chosen by the previous year's award recipients. The identity of the winner is always a carefully guarded secret. As we prepare for the presentation of this award, we celebrate all our past Circle of Excellence recipients and honor the memories of our friends who have received this award and are no longer with us. Florida Healthcare Association is proud to carry on this tradition as we salute another for outstanding work.
Thank you all for being here today for this exciting presentation of our most prestigious award, the Walter M. Johnson Circle of Excellence Award. I'm Andrew Weissman, and I had the privilege of receiving this award in 2019, along with my father, Bart Weissman. It's hard to believe he spent 30 years serving our profession, but not hard to see the incredible contributions that he's made to our association and our members. I've had the honor of working with him for over 20 years. I'm proud to call him my colleague, confidant, and most importantly, my friend. What words would I use to describe our award winner? Moral, ethical, professional, forthright, genuine, conscientious, and downright courageous. He's the one we all turn to when strategizing the political landscape, and personally, he's taught me so much more than I can express. I'm so thrilled that I've been given the opportunity to present this award, and even prouder to call this year's winner my friend. So much more could be said about this individual who by now surely knows he's about to receive it. Before we do so in presenting it, let's hear from a few of our friends, our winners, who shed more light on what makes him so special.
Bob Astalis is one of the kindest people that I know, and considerate. He cares deeply about the members. He cares deeply about the association, employees, and everybody that works here. He's the kind of guy you want to go into a fight with. And by that I mean he's trustworthy, he's honest, he will have your back. But to see Bob work in the legislature and within the legislature was really watching an artist who had perfected his craft. And I learned so much from you, Bob. And I hope that our members understand the countless hours that you spent on the road, away from your family, the countless hours that you spent up at the Capitol, all on their behalf.
What makes me think of Bob and smile all the time is, one, he always had a smile. He always could figure out what to do to fix the problem rather than worry about what it was. And so he could work his way through it, and he would do it on a team approach. And always in the back of his mind, he had who he worked for. And it wasn't necessarily the American Healthcare Association. It was for the nursing homes and the people in the nursing homes.
I don't think there's another more patriotic person that I personally know here in Florida than Bob. His heart is in the right place to serve veterans, to serve their survivors, their spouses, and current military too. And he's done such wonderful work. I admire what he's done. And how do you thank someone like Bob who has done so much, other than just say, you know, we're so grateful and so lucky that God has given us a person like him to carry that message about veterans and our military out to the public. Bob's done a great job.
Working with Bob at the EOC has definitely been great. He has been a strong advocate for long-term care providers, and I think has really helped the Florida Healthcare Association become a much more integral part of the state's disaster preparation and response efforts. He has led an extremely strong team from Florida Healthcare Association that have done a great job in communicating with long-term care providers, getting the message out about things they need to be aware of, and taking the extra step to make sure they're prepared and aware of issues. So that's been a huge partnership with the association at Bob's leadership.
And Bob, through his working with the association or through his volunteer work, has always been that voice for the voiceless. And that's just amazing that he's been able to accomplish so much in the time that he's been in the legislature.
As a lobbyist, he's the only lobbyist I know that never really lobbies and very rarely testifies. He always pushes providers in front and encourages them to tell their story. In fact, that's how I met Bob for the first time in Washington, D.C.
He would always tell me, this is my position, this is the position of the association, but Renee, politically, maybe you should think about this. Or maybe you may want to have someone else handle it. And that speaks volumes about an individual and their character, and their moral compass. And that to me is, I think, one of the reasons that where he and I became really good friends, because, even though that he always put the association first and he always put his clients first, he figured out how to balance it out with them.
I can't pay you a higher compliment than this. I'm a combat soldier. You know my story. And there is no greater compliment than telling someone you would share a foxhole with them when you know that person is going to maybe make a difference when you live or die. So Bob, listen close. I'll tell you this, my friend. Congratulations on this prestigious award, and I would share a foxhole with you anytime. Congratulations, Bob.
Congratulations, Bob. We're glad to have you part of the Circle of Excellence. You deserve it.
Congratulations, Bob, on the Circle of Excellence Award.
Bob, congratulations on the Circle of Excellence Award. You've been an incredible advocate, a valuable colleague, and are so deserving of this wonderful recognition.
Just end it this way and say, Bob, it's a very well-deserved, and my heartfelt congratulations to you for what you've done for not only Florida, but you also did for me and for the people in Washington, D.C. Best to you, my friend.
Your leadership has left a strong and remarkable imprint on the long-term care profession here in Florida and really across the country. So I thank you, Bob. I congratulate you on the Circle of Excellence Award. I can't think of anyone who deserves it more.
Bob, it's an honor to be able to present this award to you. Please join me in recognizing Bob Astalis, FHCA's Chief Lobbyist and Emergency Response Coordinator, as our 2020 Walter M. Johnson Circle of Excellence Award recipient. Come on up, Bob.
First of all, thank you so much for this honor. It is truly, to be part of this group, words cannot describe it. Even before I came to Florida Healthcare, even when I was with American Healthcare Association, we used to look to see who was going to win the Circle of Excellence Award. And so that's why the Circle of Excellence group, I mean, you all have made this profession what it is. You've cared for so many people for so many generations, and to be part of that group is an honor I've never expected and will live with me the rest of my life. So to all of you, to my family here, to my family on the screen, and to my long-term care family, thank you so much for this honor, and I thank you so much. Thank you.
Congratulations, Bob. And even though you are retiring next month, we'll still get to see you at conference every year to help us award this very special honor. Congratulations again on being named the 2020 Walter M. Johnson Jr. Circle of Excellence Award recipient. I'm excited for what the future has in store for FHCA. We're so very fortunate to have Marco Carrasco at the helm. Thank you once again, Alex, for your leadership and constant support these last couple of years. You have truly been an inspiration, and I look forward to your continued presence on the board as our immediate past president. I'd like to now turn our attention to the installation of officers and board of directors.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bob Astalis with the Florida Healthcare Association, and I just want to take a second to say that the first convention, the FHCA conference that I went to, President Clinton was actually president, so I don't want to give away my age. And I've been to every FHCA conference since 1999, and this is the coolest thing I get to do at an FHCA conference, is to install you all. And to me, this is such an honor. And Marco, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart to giving me the honor, and you board members, to letting me install you at my last conference as an FHCA staffer. So thank you so much for giving me that honor. And so with that, it is now my distinct pleasure to introduce the Florida Healthcare Association Board of Directors for 2020-2021. District 1 President, Stephanie Pena. District 2 President, Rachel Mazer. District 3 President, Melissa Neves Landreth. District 4 President, Maggie Dalton. District 5 President, Luis Merrick. District 6 President, Devin Eichelman. District 7 President, Sean Gavin. District 8 President, Tyler Price. District 9 President, Kenyon Demps. District 10 President, Melinda Gay. District 11 President, Anna Fortune Cherubin. District 12 President, Jennifer Landis. District 13 President, Edwin Rojas. District 14 President, Ashley Peters. District 15 President, Derek Gannery. District 16 President, Matthew Lasik. Now I will introduce the newly elected statewide officers. President, Marco Carrasco. Senior Vice President, Anita Bowman. Secretary, Julie Bell Morris. Treasurer, Kathy Gallen. Member at Large, Mel Beal. Region 1 Vice President, Isis Fernandez. Region 2 Vice President, Matthew Thompson. Region 3 Vice President, Derek Webster. Region 4 Vice President, Jeffrey Markulik. Multi-Facility Vice President, Vernon Ziegler. Not-for-profit Vice President, Jeffrey Freemark. Independent Owner Vice President, Mike McQuilkin. ALF Vice President, Stephen Rule. And Associate Member Vice President, Matt Deppenbrock. Will each of you please raise your right hand now and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear.
I do solemnly swear.
To fulfill the duties of my office.
To fulfill the duties of my office.
To the best of my ability.
To the best of my ability.
In accordance with the Constitution and bylaws.
In accordance to the Constitution and the bylaws.
Of the Florida Healthcare Association.
Of the Florida Healthcare Association.
The American Healthcare Association.
The American Healthcare Association.
And the Constitution of the United States of America, so help me God.
And the Constitution of the United States of America. So help me God.
Please join me in congratulating FHCA's Board of Directors for 2020 and 2021.
Congratulations to all of our newly installed officers and directors. I can't wait to work with each and every one of you. I'd like to invite Marco Carrasco, now officially the Florida Healthcare Association President, to say a few words. Marco?
Let me begin by spelling my last name, Carrasco, C-A-R-R-A-S-C-O. Yep, it's been butchered in the past. Hello, fellow colleagues. It has truly been a wonderful career journey, being part of the executive committee for the last 10 years. This has prepared me for the next step as your president of Florida Healthcare Association. I'm truly blessed to serve with leaders that have truly made us grow as a profession and industry while protecting our greatest national treasure, those men and women that have laid the framework for all of us, our seniors. In the beginning, allow me to go back when I started college. It's been a couple years. Back then, I did not know what my career path would be or what my focus of study should be. I prayed about it, and I asked God for some clarity. During the time, I knew the wife of the pastor of my church. She offered me a job, my first job in healthcare, in the area of home health. Ana de Jesus was her name. She was a wonderful lady. Through there, I began to grow my wings. I learned the business, then finished my bachelor's in health service administration. Still uncertain, but well aware that I wanted to stay in the field where I laid the opportunity to make a difference, drove me to continue to pursue my master's of health service administration. At this time, I was existing and had strong knowledgeable colleagues in the field, but I was hungry to lead. My mother always said, be the head and not the tail. So I looked into it. Long-term care. During my graduate studies, I was required to look at an internship. One of them was for the hospital, another was for managed care, and then there was something called long-term care. After much review and investigating, I came across the following scenarios. How was I going to get to leadership? Looked at the hospital, and although it was attractive, it was going to take me 20 years. And I interviewed with high-level managers, and they explained to me that it's typically the length to get to the high-level executive. I looked at managed care. I had a the opportunity to run a physician practice prior to getting to long-term care that dealt with direct managed care plans. I did due diligence and also met with high-level staffers and also shared the similar time frame, 20 years to reach that position. Came across, though, through my long-term care program at the time that all I had to do was 6 months and do an internship, and I would be the CEO of that entity. Well, I said, sign me up with no hesitation. Once you get into the administrator realm, life quickly changes. Our lives are absorbed with the constant desire to make a difference. All of a sudden, I'm responsible for 180 staff members, 180 residents, plus families. Let's not forget about DCF, ACA, company compliance, attorneys, and so on. We really come to the realization of the impact you make must be methodical and strategic. We all set out to truly reach professional satisfaction, and reviewing my career, it's not been considered work. It's been exciting, and you truly love what you do each and every day. Over the past 20 years, I feel our industry is constantly floating on top of waves. You get splashed upon here, but you certainly don't sink. I'll never forget how Governor Parkinson from American Healthcare Association identified that we had been the low-hanging fruit. And it's through the leadership of individuals such as Emmett and the exemplary team, Florida Healthcare, that truly surrounds him, that we really see our industry flourish. Our levels of protecting has never been greater. More and more of you are just taking care of the elderly persons, rather than have evolved into truly use of quality outcomes and systems to ensure safety and take credit for what we do. I'm sure all of you have heard the fact that our industry is the second highest regulated industry in the United States. Let us ponder for a moment. Every day we wake up thinking, what am I going to expect today? Think about it, administrators. Think about it, staffers. What new challenge will come up your way today? Was it the upset family member that's calling the state because we didn't meet expectations? Or is somebody calling Bob Estalis because the legislator wants to know what's going on? Or are we having to report some type of allegation? Could it be another attorney letter? Or are we having to settle, even though we can prove we didn't do what is alleged? There are so many samples of daily risk management situations that will never fail to keep up at night, or keeps us at night. How many of you can remember the following? Y2K, tort reform, original PPS, Medicaid cuts, Medicaid PPS, quality measures, star ratings, PDPM, not to mention COVID-19. These are just some examples of continued changes and challenges to our industry that continues to create and force us to adapt and rise above. Folks, we're always able to adapt, but as leaders, we need to not just adapt, but thrive. Remain strategic at all times and embrace the change as the opportunity to continue to move forward. What is the dash? How many of you have read on a headstone and noticed that the often overlooked date and or years? For example, 1901 to 2001. The dash is the precious little time of life in between. Let's take a moment to reflect. When seeing these dates, do we ever wonder what they did in between the time of birth and the time they died? Did you ever wonder what did they do or what we are doing with our dash? We have a choice either to let life go by, become consumed by the daily grind, and admit that at times we might feel as if we are on a sailboat. When you set sail with no end, just floating on top of waves, we sail when we become complacent in life. This complacency impacts you spiritually, it takes a toll on the family, and it affects you professionally. And if allowed, it continues to consume your life, your current dash. Now take a step back and realize the importance of the dash. How many of you have lost loved ones to cancer, or to another disease or condition, or to an accident? How about more recently to a virus such as COVID-19? Life is a precious gift and to be valued and appreciated daily. I've made a conscious decision to refuse to settle, to sail, and to allow complacency. I simply refuse to live this way. I demand to be an active participant in my life and in the life of others. I want to be active in my children's life. I want to remain hungry to grow and serve in my professional life. I want to be positively, and I want to positively impact others. So if we all understand that we all come with a very short, precious lifespan, what are you doing with it? You get an uncomfortable diagnosis. What do you do? How do you change your life? Or how about other lives that change because of a loss of a loved one, a broken relationship, a divorce? What changes do you do now? Can you still adapt? Allow me to provide you a simple but effective suggestion. Live it up. Live to the fullest and let everybody know how much you love them. Your parents, children, family, friends, the people that you're blessed to make that are making part of your life. You're beautiful, precious, maybe stressful, often complicated, but always unpredictable. Choose to be relevant. Choose to impact others. Here's an example of some of the things we can do. Your staff. Be on the lookout for someone that needs help. Offer help. Listen to your staff. Choose to brighten their day. When their spirits are down, don't wait for someone to be noticed, to ask, to act. Take the lead. When your dash is running out, and let's be realistic, all our dashes are going to run out. You can truly be fulfilled with your legacy, so your dash can continue. If the proper seeds are planted, you will surely harvest a fruitful bounty. Your time is precious, and it's my fight. Been there, got the t-shirt. I became a statistic this year. Allow me to share part of my COVID-19 story and what I've learned. There are sometimes need for help and support. First and foremost, I would like to recognize that my girlfriend, Marilyn Fernandez, was the one who took care of me while I was ill, and I would have found it very difficult to have survived without her. Compassion and the care that she provided during the most vulnerable time in my life. I love you for that. Realize that we cannot do much when you get sick all of a sudden and you find out who really worries about you. Who cares? Who is willing to stay in your corner regardless of risk or hazard? Part of the thought process is saying goodbye. Reality hits that on the way to the hospital, I actually wrote my last wishes in the event that I would become incapacitated. My O2 oxygen levels had dropped to 81%, and I had what was called happy hypoxia. I didn't know what it was, what to do, and what was truly concerned about the possibility of not making it out of the hospital. Called my son, my daughter, in case I would not be able to talk to them again, and told them that I loved them very much. Did the same for my sister, my friends, Carlos and Steve, as well. I was ready. I was, once again, and maybe for the last time, I feared adapting. The fight, what I went through. During my fight, I had multiple symptoms, and eventually it complicated, as COVID often does, with bilateral pneumonia. I had never been this sick, this weak, or this helpless. I reflected on my father and mother. May they rest in peace. My father's passing, the watch. The watch is a symbolic part. When I was actually doing his eulogy, I had gotten a watch for him for his birthday. He passed away July, a couple months after his birthday, and I was given the opportunity to talk, and I showed the watch, and it was about time. This is when you give somebody a watch, you perceive that you're always going to be there for them, or they're going to be there for you. And at that time, when I gave him the watch, I thought I was going to have him for another year, and I did it. My mother's passing, what did I learn? I wanted to thank Emmett, because Emmett was there when I had my mother's passing, and I got to read a eulogy that I created that morning. And at the end, I had one of the people that were there actually came up, and she asked me for a copy of the eulogy. She goes, those words were for me. And in retrospect for both, it was a message for someone else. So I hope this stash is for someone else that needs to hear it. Words are driven by the heart and inspired by God. So in overcoming adversity, what I learned, brand new lease on life. Live peacefully, love plenty, forgive often, and don't forget to enjoy the beauty of every sunrise and every sunset. What about you guys? What's your dash? What are your setbacks? Somebody experienced a termination, divorce, COVID, being diagnosed with a terminal diagnosis or an illness. How do you handle those setbacks? Do we really allow them to set us back? Do we use time to reconnect and reflect on what is truly important? Is there anything you get out of this today? Please make a to-do list. Now, go in and write your own dash. Live each day as if it was your last, because one day it will be. I want to give you an inspiration for my dash. Let me tell you about my brother from another mother. Steve Hernandez had his share of setbacks. Imagine a minute having back pain, only to be told that the next you have a tumor that spreads to your lung. What would you do? Fight. It's now been 7 years later, and Steve Hernandez has managed to fight cancer, adapt, thrive, a blessing to others, and he is living the dash. Let me show you a picture of his tumor. Let me also show you a picture of him. Today, my good friend and brother is cancer-free and in remission and is living his dash. So what is Steve doing? He realigned his priorities, his focus, his family. Simply, he has a new lease on life. But also he had bought a boat and a little Porsche, a little car. I know that some of these pictures showed material things, but to point is not long ago that he was preparing for his untimely potential death. The point is that he's blessed enough to be allowed to live his life. Steve is truly living his dash with a clear understanding of its fragility and beauty. What about me? Well, my friends and esteemed colleagues, now I'm living the dash. As I stand before you, I would like to thank God for all our precious dashes. I would like to thank the association, and I thank each and every one of you. I will continue to ask God for guidance and will continue to do so as I embark on this new role. Asking that if I accomplish anything, is that I will remain humble, kind, and I never take for granted all those many blessings. So as I ask you, what are you doing with your dash? And here's a couple of pictures of my kids, my girlfriend, and our sunset. Thank you very much, and may the Lord continue to bless our association and all our heroes in healthcare. Thank you.
Congratulations, Marco. As we close out our last day of live sessions, I want to emphasize again just how proud we are to represent you. You inspire us every day. We know the days, weeks, and months ahead will be difficult, but we can get through this together. Yesterday, I provided you with a state update, and today I'd like to mention the work we've been doing with American Healthcare Association at the federal level. This includes the federal funding that providers have seen, the open dialogue with CMS Administrator Seema Verma, as well as the media campaign AHCA and NCAL is coordinating. We're thrilled to have AHCA NCAL President and CEO Mark Parkinson and NCAL Executive Director Scott Tittle join us live shortly when you'll hear more about those federal issues. Before we wrap up the agenda, I want to remind you of the checkout for the leaderboard points is TOGETHER. TOGETHER, all lowercase. That code is not for CEU credit, but for points toward the leaderboard. Only education session codes will be placed toward your CE credits. I'll see you all shortly for our interactive session with Governor Mark Parkinson and Scott Tittle beginning at 10:15 a.m. You will need to leave this Zoom meeting and click that session on the agenda in the virtual conference platform. See you there.